This is how to represent information on a Venn diagram involving three such problems. So this will be a universal set. So the total number of elements within the set, that will be a universal set. So it houses all the subsets. So these are subsets. And this signifies the universal set U. This particular representation, I'm implying that a particular school is sharing textbooks. So they are sharing it according to subjects. And in this case, we have the subject physics, elective math, and chemistry. So we have our physics set, our elective math set, then our chemistry set. I've just represent the particular areas with the alphabet just for us to get the first idea of what a three-set problem is. So to begin with, let's assume the above are textbooks of particular subjects, and those subjects are physics, elective math, and chemistry. So these are textbooks they are sharing for a number of students. So if they are sharing to 100 number of students, that will be our universal set. If they are sharing to 200 number of students, that will be the universal set. So how many students receive physics? How many students receive elective math textbook? How many students receive chemistry textbook? So these are the sets. This is a set for physics textbooks, elective math, and then chemistry. N of P. So where you see P, that tells us that it is a number of those that received physics textbooks. This whole circle. This whole circle depicts the number of students that received physics textbooks. The number of students that received elective mathematics textbooks is this entire circle. Everything within this circle. The fact that this circle is a number of P and there are some elements that are also here doesn't mean that they are not part of E. I'll explain that when we get to both. N of C, giving us the number of chemistry textbooks given out. So then this is our number of C, the textbooks given out. Now let's proceed to the second part, where we have EFG. Our E here is this small part, and we are saying that the number of E means, so number of physics intersection, number of elective maths, that's the number of students that receive both physics and elective maths textbooks. Now both physics and elective maths textbook, you will see that part of the physics textbook has been combined with part of the elective maths textbooks given out, and that particular combination, the common part, that is what is termed as the number of students that received both textbooks. So both, don't forget that particular statement, both physics and elective maths is this small part. Both elective maths and chemistry is this small part. Then both physics and chemistry is also this small part. So that is it. Then the next thing we are to interpret is this small x. Now this x depicts the number of students that receive all the textbooks. So you see that this x contains a bit of physics, a bit of elective math, and then a bit of chemistry textbooks. So it has all textbooks. This particular number of students received all the three textbooks. So all three textbooks, or we can write it mathematically as the number of physics intersection, elective maths intersection, chemistry. I left this part out because there is one particular thing I want you to know. This small or this huge part, let me put it that way, this part is what we term as the physics only. So the number of students that received physics only. Now the only signifies that this number of people received just physics and nothing else. Elective maths only, just elective maths and nothing else. See this particular aspect. Then chemistry only is also the down part, this particular aspect. The number of students that receive physics is not the same as the number of students that receive physics only. Now the number of students that receive physics is the entire circle, but the number of students that receive physics only is this small aspect. Don't forget that. And then H signifies the number of students that receive none. So in other terms, we'll say complement. So H will give us the number of students that receive none of the textbooks shared. So we were told in the question that there are 40 pupils in a class. So that tells us that the entire number of students in the class are 40. So Our number of universal set, which is the total number of students in the class, are 40. Now 30 of them study biology. So the number of students that study biology. Now let's choose the initials for the particular subjects. So how many study biology? 30. So let's write that one down. And then 22 study physics and 21 study chemistry. So 22 study physics. So the number of students that study physics are 22. Then the number of students that study chemistry are 21. Now 15 study physics and biology. So we have both subject intersections. So 15 study physics intersection biology. So 15 study physics intersection biology. So physics and biology. And then 10 study physics and chemistry. So the number of students that study physics and chemistry are 10. Now 13 study chemistry and then biology. So 13 will study biology and then that of chemistry. So 13. 2 study physics only. So number of physics only. Now let's add the only so that we will not forget. Physics only are 2. Then 3 study chemistry only. Number of chemistry only. So 3. Then 7 study biology only. So biology only are 7. Now there's one thing left. What is left is that we don't know the number of students that study all the 3 subjects. So let's add that. Let X be the number of students. So let S be the number of students that study all the 3 subjects. Now let's represent this information on a Venn diagram. So, but mind you, if you are drawing this, make sure you use a pencil and a ruler. Number of U is 40. So we have 3 particular subjects studied. We have physics. Let's even start with biology. Let's follow it. So biology, physics, and chemistry. Now number of biology is 30. Number of physics, that is 22. And the number of chemistry, that is 21. Now we said X will be for all 3 subjects. So how many students are studying biology only? Now biology only, there are 7 of them. So this particular aspect, 7. How many students are studying chemistry only? Chemistry only are 3. Then physics only, there are 2 students studying them. Now for us to get the total number of students that are studying 2 subjects, so both subjects, let's use this ideology. So let's take this aspect out. Now assuming this is an entire class and that class is made up of 30 students. Now out of the 30 students, X number of students, let's say 20, are girls and the rest are boys. So 30 students in a class, 20 of them are girls, the rest are boys. Find the number of boys. Now for us to find the number of boys, we can say that the total number of students in the class minus the number of girls will give us the number of boys. With this same idea, this is the entire thing. There is this particular aspect, X, that studies 3. So let's subtract those that study the 3 subjects from the entire thing so that we'll get this aspect. And we were told that 15 students study physics and biology. So 15 study physics and biology. Let's subtract this aspect from the entire thing. As we subtract this, we'll get this small part. The same thing happens to this one. This particular aspect, which is physics and then chemistry, those that study physics and chemistry are here. They said that 10 study physics and chemistry. Out of the 10, there is a number of people that are studying 3 subjects. Let's subtract those number of people that are studying the 3 from the entire thing here. Now the entire thing, we said that is 10. So 10 minus this small aspect. 13 minus this. And we have this small aspect. So we've represented the information on a Venn diagram. Let's find the number of students that study all the 3 subjects. There are 2 ways we can do it. Now, the first alternative is that we add everything within this circle, the biology aspect, and equate it to the total number of students that study biology. Or we can also take this particular circle, we add everything within the circle, and then equate it to 22, because this is what it means. It's saying that everything within this circle is the number of students that study physics, so 22. Then we can also take this circle and add everything within them and equate to 21. Now let's simplify. Minus x plus x, so that will be 0. Let's cancel that one out. 7 plus 15 plus 30. 13 will be 35 minus x is equal to 30. Let's make x the subject. So our x is 5. So this tells us that 5 students study all 3 subjects. Alternative B, just like we did for 2-set problem in JHS. Now we'll add everything within the diagram and then equate it to the universal set 40. Now mind you, if you are adding these 3 circles, let's say if you take this circle and add everything within this circle, when you come to the second circle and adding them, make sure you do not rewrite anything you've used. For instance, when we're solving that of biology, we added this part, and this part. So if we are to take physics, neglect this aspect because you've used them already. So we'll just add this, and then if we are to take chemistry, we neglect these 3 aspects because we've used them already. Then we write this. Now this is what I mean. So we have 7 plus, so we are done with this aspect, 15 minus x. We are also done with this aspect, plus x, done with this aspect, plus 13 minus x. So that we are done with this circle. Let's move on to the second circle. But we've used this aspect already, so we are left with this and this. So plus 2 plus 10 minus x. Now we've consumed everything within the second circle. Now let's move on to the third circle. Since we've already written this, and this, we are left with just this. So plus 3, which should be equal to the entire thing. So the universal set 40. Then we make x the subject. So you can see that x is still 5. So no matter the method you use, you are getting the same thing. If we ask to find the number of students that study both subjects, so let's say those that study both biology and physics. So biology and physics are just this aspect. And we know 15 minus x is the number of students that study both biology and physics. But we've now solved for the number of students that study x, all 3. So let's subtract that. We know x is now 5. So 15 minus 5, and that will give us 10. So the number of students that study biology and physics are 10. Now number of students that study chemistry and physics. Now if we are to put the 5 here, 10 minus 5, then it means 5 students are studying both physics and chemistry. Then 13 minus 5 will give us 8 students. So 8 students are studying biology and chemistry.